Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be going into the second half of the Piercing Patty saga. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. Oh, also, if you've not listened to the first half, it'll be the video just before this one. I would definitely go listen to that first, or none of this will make any sense. So the title to this one, Piercing Patty Does the Unforgivable Thing, Part 3. Edit, no sass, I am so touched by everyone who partook in the I am not a real woman because movement in the comments. It was such an amazing show of solidarity to me and those who struggle with infertility. I read every single comment. I had never thought of myself as not a real woman, even when we got the news from my doctor. I just thought of it like a scar or a hair colour. It was just a characteristic of my body and I couldn't change it, so I wasn't ashamed of it. When PP said the unforgivable thing to me, it was the first time since the diagnosis that I felt so small. Like someone was informing me that for the first time that this, in fact, was something to be very embarrassed over, and I should lament for the rest of my life over the injustice. Well, I don't, and I'm not. I have thousands of friends on the internet, PP, and they make me feel 10 foot tall. I don't fit into your little boxy definition of what a woman is, and that's okay, because your approval would destroy me. Smiley face. You guys crack me up. Okay, in order of the most asked, although I would not say that it was in order of importance, I will answer the following. 1. Had my bag cut, re-dyed and re-sewn. The Yves Saint Laurent survived, but it will never, ever be the same. For shame. 2. Cousin-in-law is doing fine. She is set to make a physical recovery, although I think she is still very frightened to drive by herself. I know it gives her anxiety to do simple things like run to the store. Poor girl. I can understand that. That's why I don't drive, just all the anxiety, to be honest with you. I just can't do it. Can't do it. Last we left off, I was driving my sticky self back home to darling husband. I got home, explained what happened, and then I went into my closet, plucked my purses off their shelves one by one until I found the right one, dug into the unlined pocket, lit up one of my emergency cigarettes and had a long, deep drag. I was so angry and so humiliated. PP splashed a drink in my face. Like, did I get my own show on the E network? If so, when's the check coming? I got bags to replace. Darling husband comes in and holds me for a bit. We talk, and I am still trying to understand why she is acting like this. It's very aggressive compared to her past behaviour. She's usually just extremely annoying. The physical escalation has me very worried. I start to think that maybe it's a brain tumour. I will later learn that her only diagnosis is that she is an asshat. That's the thing with people like PP. When you're on their good side, they seem like great people. As soon as you're not doing what they want and you're not following their rules or whatever, suddenly the tables turn and the real them comes to show, doesn't it? Darling husband calls his mum and sets up a meeting. She tries to tell her side of the story, but it's honestly so absurd that nothing makes sense, and he ends up being even more confused after she tries to explain to him what happened. We absolutely cannot go on like this. As luck would have it, auntie-in-law, who is now furious at PP for yelling at her infirm daughter, has kicked her out of the hotel room they shared, and now PP has booked a flight back to the southern state because she has nowhere to stay. Don't look at me, B. The flight leaves tomorrow evening, so we plan to have lunch before we drop her off at the airport. Before I get to lunch, I want to share something with you guys. Darling, her husband and I have been childless. Not necessarily child-free, but we liked to travel, go to bars until late at night, and do exclusively adult things. It was a lifestyle that worked for us for a long time, but in the last year or so, I've been kind of thinking that maybe I didn't need 2 guest rooms and that one of them would make a nice nursery, you know? We weren't trying, but we weren't not trying either. If it happens, it happens. Well, nothing happened. Nothing happened for a long time. I got insecure and suspicious. Long story short, doctor says it's me. It's fine, don't do the sympathy thing, it makes me feel like I should be sadder than I am, and I am not sad. Okay, that's a lie. I was sad for like a second, but to be honest, the not knowing was worse. Now I can plan on doing what I always wanted to do. fostering to adopt. No skin off my back. Now, back to the lunch. Lord help us all, I have court in the morning, so I can't give you guys a verbatim transcript, but the gist is this. PP had not saved for retirement, like, at all. You guys, she works at a job that pays average, but would have an amazing retirement plan. However, taking advantage of this retirement plan would require foresight. I guess she just planned to work until she was dead. But then darling husband put himself through school and got an amazing career and got himself a wife that works. And now we are just so rich that of course we would want to raise PP as our own. The end! Oh my god, could you imagine? That would be a fate worse than death, that. JK, not the end. So much not the end. All the not the ends. We haven't even started. This delusional cunt crumb thought that when we were ready to have kids, she would move in with us and take care of the baby. That was her retirement plan. Goodness. I wouldn't trust her to hold in a fart, let alone look after a baby. So, now that we know that we aren't going to have any biological kids and that the fostering to adopt option may yield in us adopting older kids that don't need a full-time granny helping out, she has lost her retirement plan. In her head, all along, I was going to beg her back into my house because a newborn was going to be more than I could bear alone. She was just waiting me out. I was going to grovel. She was sure. I guess she really snapped when darling husband told her we weren't going to have kids. It kind of solidified that she may never be allowed back into our home. At least, not via her retirement plan nanny gig. And she became desperate to get into my house because she viewed it as a home where she would spend her twilight years. How entitled! Like, B, I wouldn't even let you spend the duration of the Twilight movie in my house. Get out of here with that dumb-butt idea. Okay, side note, she's also in her early 50s and in reasonably good health. I mean, I just saw you run like Usain Bolt from 2 hospital security guards, so I don't think now is an appropriate retirement age for you. You got a few tax-paying years left, PP. I was kind of stunned at lunch, so I didn't say much. Darling husband was panicked because he knows it will fall on him to figure it out for her, but we both agreed that this was absolutely never ever going to happen. It's amazing how you've been with someone so long that you can convey that entire message in nothing but a glance. Darling husband told her flatly, "Mum, you cannot live with us. We like our life as it is, and we don't think it's a good idea to be sharing our..." And then, as if on cue, she starts crying uncontrollably, loud, heaving sobs. Lol, whatever bro, keep your crocodile tears away from my club sandwich. It's got 3 slices of bread, so this is a celebration sandwich. I'm not going to let you ruin a 3-slice day for me. And then she says the unforgivable thing. If your wife was a real woman, I wouldn't have to live on the streets in my old age. Now, as good as that sandwich might be, I think I would have thrown it at her at that point. What a cheeky cow. Okay, I'm going to need a 4th slice of bread. You just turned my happy sandwich into a sad sandwich. Ouch. I'm a real woman. F you. That statement really hurt my feelings for some reason. Usually, when she talks, I just let the words roll right past me. But this was an act of war, PP. You can't just violate the Geneva Convention like that and expect no retaliation. Shrug. I kept eating my tiny triangles. Why do they always cut club sandwiches into tiny triangles? I'm not gonna lie, I don't actually know what a club sandwich is. I was going to take a beat to address the horrific thing that she just said to me. I don't respond to attacks until I know that I can articulately stand up for myself. But the shock left me a little weak. So I'm thinking about how I am going to respond because I can feel tears well up in my eyes and I know the next time I blink I'll be crying. All of a sudden, I am wearing my jacket and now my arm is getting yanked. And now darling husband's throwing of cash haphazardly onto the table. Ah, my tiny triangles, I wasn't done. And now I'm in the car. We never responded. I never even said anything to defend myself. He shut my passenger side door, and I cried harder than I remember crying in a long time. I knew we were done. I cried because I was relieved. I really thought he'd choose to help her because she was his mother. I thought I was going to have to help retire her one day if I wanted to stay with him, but she did the unforgivable thing, and now we are both off the hook. Yay! I would love to have seen her face when she realized that her son has basically just given her the big F you, and she realizes that no one's on her side. And she's done this all to herself. To be a fly on the wall in that moment. I don't know how she got to the airport, to be honest. Probably took a goober. I never thought about that before I started typing this story out. When we got home, I told him no more. She's blocked on everything, and I told the gate guards to call the police immediately if she shows up again. Don't even notify me. She needs to get her own phone plan. Any trips to Southern State will not be attended by me. All the money we're giving her was going to stop. He can send her whatever he wants from his discretionary budget, but I wasn't going to send her any of my wonky womb money. I am a real woman, goddammit! I don't need to shoot a baby out of my vagina to know that. You can suck my D, Patricia. No contact. Full stop. Abso-friggin-lutely. I don't have any more updates for you guys. That was months ago, and her name isn't even whispered in my house. Darling husband doesn't talk about her, although I'm sure she's been begging him for more money. I will bet that too, to be fair. I don't think about her unless I am feeding llamas. And what is with the llamas? That's going to be from one of those posts that was deleted, isn't it? And I'm kind of gutted that we don't know what that means. And all we are concentrating on is getting approved to be foster parents. I hope my kid marries an attorney when he grows up so I can relive this saga step by step from the other perspective. Ha ha ha. I've been tossing fountain drinks at dartboards for practice. But do not be sad, dear followers, because there is more posts in the Piercing Patty universe. I don't think it's from that particular saga, but we do have some more to read. So this one's titled Piercing Patty and My Engagement Ring. A few of you guys requested some BEC stories about Piercing Patty, aka Patricia. After my last odyssey on her journey to no contact. This is hilarious for two reasons. One, you know there definitely existed PEC, and two, you knew it'd be good enough to retell. Someone recently made a post about a class ring on here, and it reminded me of my engagement ring pissing contest with PP. Oh, I think we saw about that class ring. I'm sure I read about the class ring. It was given away or something, or sold by the parents. And it was, we have read about that before. I don't know where and when, because I've done quite a few videos now. But we did read that one. I can't remember the context though, I'm afraid. This isn't a full meal, llamas, but that's okay, because it's bikini season and all we need is a light snack and a cold sangria, Why not? I have eaten a full family-sized bag of pickled onion monster munch today, so a light snack is probably a good idea. Immediately following my law school graduation, darling husband, then boyfriend, took me on a long weekend getaway. I'm serious about the immediately part. I basically walked across that stage, took some pictures with my family, we went at the local restaurant for a meal and some champagne, and I left for the trip still wearing the most expensive outfit I own. My graduation gown. Oh god, the student loans. We couldn't go anywhere far because I needed to begin preparing for the bar exam the very next Monday, so a weekend was all I could spare to celebrate. Darling husband drove us to a sleepy coastal town and we stayed at one of those B&Bs that have seashell soaps in the bathroom. Sounds lovely! We spent the entire weekend sleeping in and letting the warmth of the sun wake us, having late night dinners in dim-lit restaurants over good wine and hushed whispers, and inevitably arguing whether the seashell soaps were for decoration or utility. It was one of the most romantic trips of my life. That sounds amazing, and I feel like we're probably all feeling a little jealous right now. On Saturday night, after we had one of the funniest seafood meals of our lives, two drunk kids with plastic bibs and crab mallets. We took a walk along the beach to relax a little more before driving back the next day. The sun was just setting and the breeze was perfect. And I guess darling husband couldn't wait any longer, so he popped the question. Except he wasn't planning on proposing, at least not this weekend. It was always an eventually, but I didn't really pressure him, and we always had the whole, sure, when we finish school mentality. But the weekend was just too perfect, and I literally just finished school, so it was kind of cute how he wouldn't wait a moment longer. Now, being as how it was so spontaneous, he didn't have a ring for me. He just slipped off his class ring and proposed with it. I was so happy, you guys. Not because I get to marry the love of my life, but because darling husband ordered his class ring a few sizes too small and wore it on his pinky, and I always thought it made him look like a 1970s pimp. Him giving me his ring took care of the fashion faux pas, and it had the added bonus of me being engaged. Two birds, one stone, I guess. Got the appropriate reactions, minus PP wanting to come and see us right away, and kind of forgot that we were engaged because I was studying for the bar. Once I was done with that horrid exam, I felt giddy. The whole blushing bride thing hit me like a ton of bricks. I was nearing 30 when I finished law school. There was no reason for me to be giggling that much. Finally, I wasn't such a mean bookworm anymore, and that meant that PP could visit us, because from the moment we told her we were engaged, she was begging to come visit us so we could all celebrate together. So, PP comes to town and without any polite small talk asks to see the ring. I flash it quickly because I know this ain't my real engagement ring, so I try not to show it off too much, knowing that it will confuse people when I get my actual ring. The class ring was just a spur-of-the-moment ring, and what PP didn't know is that after we got back from the trip, darling husband took me to a jeweller to pick out what I wanted. Turns out, I didn't want any of them, and in my high-maintenance glory, I got to pick out my own stone and design my own setting. Oh boy was I glad he didn't plan his proposal. Making my ring was so fun, but it would take months to complete. I still plan to wear darling husband's class ring around a necklace though. It was so sentimental to me, but this cow, effing PP. So we are on our way home from the airport to stop for lunch. PP asks to see the ring again, and I show her, thinking that she's just excited her son's getting married. But no, she asks to try it on. What? I'm like, maybe later. I'm only human. My spine had to grow one pant leg at a time. During her week with us, she kept asking and asking. If I was doing the dishes, she would say, "Oh, you don't want to scratch that beautiful ring? Take it off and I'll wear it so you don't lose it. I promise I'll give it back." What? And then she did this laugh thing that's not exactly a giggle and not exactly a cackle either. She gackled. I was so weirded out. I wasn't even annoyed. It was just strange. I knew we were playing a game, but I didn't know what the rules were. I mean, you guys know what a class ring looks like, don't you? Especially a men's one. Nothing like an engagement ring. It's very masculine. The band and mount usually has engraving or a stamp of the graduation year. The stone set into it is usually a dark coloured semi-precious one. It was a cool looking ring, but not something I'd consider bridal. So the only explanation I could muster is that she wanted to wear it because it came from her son. Ew, why? Ew again. Do you want to be engaged to your son, PP? Barf! It's like a story I read ages ago where I don't think I read it on the channel, I think I just read it in my spare time. I think it was before I even started the channel. And the OP in that, their mother-in-law, they walked in on her wearing her wedding dress. And the husband was in on it as well. So bloody weird. So, all week I had to guard my ring like it was my precious. I honestly didn't even take it off when I slept because I wasn't sure she wasn't going to sneak into our bedroom and slip it on to spite me. She probably would have, to be honest. I know it sounds paranoid, but PP would not let up with her insistence that she'd be able to try on the class ring. I felt like I was at Guantanamo. She was asking me about it so relentlessly. But as you all know, if you play bitch games, you will win bitch prizes. Towards the end of her stay at Hotel de MotherInPaws, my jeweler called and my ring was finally ready. Yay! I had been waiting for what felt like an eternity. So we tell PP we need to run an errand real quick and to watch some Netflix while we're gone. I deliberately left the ring on my nightstand, knowing that I just chummed shark-infested waters. We picked up my ring, and it is perfect. A tasteful 1.5 carat oval set in a rose gold pave, double band, and with 2 little birthstones. I have no idea what any of that means. Mine and his set on the inside. That's cute. I like that. That's really cute that you put your birthstones in it. The ring really felt like mine and no one else's due to the fact that I got to design it and the little birthstone secret we put in. So we got home and PP is on our couch watching TV. She turns to us and waves hello. I'm entering my own home. Why would you wave to me? Ah, yes, to bring attention to the fact that you are wearing the class ring. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, she caught you there, PP. She got you right on the line and you fell for it. Now, keep in mind that she didn't know we were going to pick up my engagement ring. She didn't even know we had another one made because darling husband doesn't think to talk about stuff like that with his mother, and I felt petty all week. So I waltzed right over to her, grabbed the hand she is wearing the ring on, her left hand by the way, second bath, with my right hand, take an amused look at the ring. You ladies know the one where you lightly grab your friend's fingers when they show you their new ring. She's looking kind of smug now, thinking she's under my skin. She is holding eye contact with me like, bitch, what's your next move? So, as I am holding her left hand with my right, I drag my left hand down her forearm until she hears a clink, clink, clink. It was the sound of metal on metal. She looks down and bam, I am wearing a brand new diamond her son paid for. It just came from the jeweler too, so the thing is refractive AF. MotherInPaws hasn't had the opportunity to get any Cheeto powder into the crevices yet, baby. Her eyes widen, and this is the moment she knew I was a formidable enemy. I smiled and said, "That ring looks gorgeous on you. Why don't you keep it? It's worth almost nothing anyway." Ha! What's darling husband gonna do? Be mad at me for giving his mother a free ring? I came out smelling like roses, thank you. Goodbye, PP. By the way, she left the ring on my dresser when she left. It was never about the ring. Of course it wasn't. It was not about the ring. It was about having a pissing contest with the OP for some weird reason. I got engaged to her son and she wanted to assert her dominance in his life. She didn't anticipate that I had seen Tina Fey's Mean Girls like 17 times and can out Regina her any day. I still wear the class ring on a necklace sometimes, but I will not let the darling husband have it back because when he puts it on his pinky, he develops a fake Italian accent and tries to emulate Godfather-style gangsters. Bada bing, bada boom, the witch flew back to Southern State on her broom. Okay, so that's where we're going to leave it for the day. There is more. There actually is more of posts about PP from the OP, so we will definitely be delving into them in another video, probably the next one to be fair. So if you're interested in that, make sure you stick around and subscribe and all that good stuff. If you made it all the way to the end with me, I appreciate you very, very much. If you give a little like, subscribe, notifications on, that is your initiation into the cult of void. Welcome! Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of your day. Goodbye!